Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. In our major story, former NBA President Okewale regains freedom from kidnappers after 13 days in captivity. Also in this program, renowned Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi tells President Goodluck Jonathan to drop his re-election bid ahead 2015 presidential election. In our alleged plot to impeach Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose tears Ekiti lawmakers apart. Outside Nigeria, angry UK Prime Minister David Cameron vows not to pay £1.7 billion being demanded by the European Union as stop UFA payment. Thank you for joining us tonight. The former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Okewale, who was kidnapped about 2 weeks ago, has been released by his abductors. NBA President Augustine Alaga said in a statement that his predecessor was released at about 11 p.m. on Thursday after 13 days in captivity. He, however, did not provide details of how Wale was freed or whether ransom was paid to secure his release. A date has been set for President Goodluck Jonathan to publicly declare his intention to seek a second term in office. It is Tuesday, November 11. This decision was taken at the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Declaration Committee at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa. Committee Chairman Haliru Bello noted that although a date has been fixed, the venue has not been decided.
We have agreed on the date. The declaration will be on the 11th of November, on Tuesday. We have not yet decided on the venue, but we will decide at our next meeting. And we hope, like every other Nigerian who has asked Jonathan to come out and declare, when we come on Tuesday, 11th November, the president will come and face the people of Nigeria and say yes to their request. And a venue and a platform for the president to meet the people of Nigeria and respond to their yearnings that he should contest. If he says yes, then it is yes. If he says no, then it is.
Meanwhile, one of the members of the Presidential Declaration team, Governor Ibrahim Shema of Katsina State, has revealed that arrangements are on ground to ensure a hitch-free event on November 11. He told State House correspondent on the sidelines of the team's inaugural meeting that a number of subcommittees are already in place.
Yes, the committee has been set up, inaugurated yesterday, and subcommittees have been established today, and more work will continue into putting effect to the decisions of this main committee. We have a maximum period of 2 weeks to complete what we are doing, starting from yesterday.
A few days after he urged former head of state Muhammadu Buhari to step down for a younger opposition candidate, renowned Islamic cleric Ahmad Gumi has asked President Goodluck Jonathan to drop his re-election bid. In an open letter similar to the one he wrote to Buhari, Gumi argued that Jonathan has failed as a leader. In a letter posted on his Facebook page, Gumi described the president as a divisive figure in the country who has polarized Nigeria along religious lines. He added that a Jonathan presidency beyond May 2015 would spell trouble for Nigeria because of the impression that he is negatively involved in the Boko Haram saga. Gumi backed his argument with the contents of the controversial letter written by former President Olusegun Obasanjo to Jonathan. A presidential aspirant in the All Progressive Congress, Simon Isaiah, has again reaffirmed his opposition to consensus candidacy. Speaking against the backdrop of APC governor's position on the issue, Isaiah maintained that he fully supports a free and fair presidential primary based on secret balloting. He made his stance on consensus arrangement clear in a recent exclusive interview with CoreTV News.
Well, consensus candidate means that they have looked at all the candidates and see who is better fit to win for us. And when you are going to choose a consensus candidate, let's even take specifically this instance now. We are going to, the PDP has already declared that APC is, that Jonathan is their candidate. So in choosing a consensus candidate, what the party would do, first is that everybody will agree on the terms of the choice of this consensus candidate, since we intend to win. And winning is logic. Winning is arithmetic. Jonathan is the candidate. So when you want to choose a consensus candidate, you don't just come up and say, okay, you be consensus candidate and others. It's not done that way. That is why anywhere it is done so, it fails. Everybody sits down and look at, okay, if you, Mr. X, contest against Jonathan, these are the chances. This is what is going to happen. This is going to be the electoral behavior of this group, that group, this group. You know, there are 36 states in this country. If for instance, they say that there is a consensus and you just call Atiku now, and Atiku comes out to say, I don't agree, then it is not a consensus. Then Atiku and any other person can contest. But if it is a consensus, then everybody has agreed. Then you can't be asking me, will you agree? If that question comes up, will you agree, then it means that it is not a consensus. Consensus will be very good if we all sit down and do the arithmetic among ourselves.
The governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, says all those aspiring to become president in the All Progressive Congress are better than President Goodluck Jonathan. He also said because of the array of aspirants in the APC, it would be wrong to assume that the party was split after its presidential primary. Kwankwaso, who spoke with journalists in Abuja on Friday evening, said it was also wrong to assume that the ruling People's Democratic Party has a presidential candidate already. Apart from Kwankwaso, other presidential aspirants in the APC are a former head of state, Muhammadu Buhari, a former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, and a newspaper publisher, Sam Nda Isaiah. The governor said he would openly declare his intention on October 28, adding that it was difficult for him to secure a venue for the declaration. He also revealed that all the aspirants have agreed to work with whoever wins the party's presidential primary, saying none of them will leave the party. Now, the race for Lagos Government House in 2015 is becoming increasingly interesting by the day. The latest to join the list of aspirants on the platform of the All Progressive Congress is Akinwumi Ambode, who officially declared his interest at the Onikon Stadium in Lagos on Friday. Our correspondent Oluwaseyi Adegoke brought by this report as presented from our studios.
The stadium was filled to capacity as politicians on the platform of the APC and party supporters, as well as friends and family members of Akinwumi Ambode, thronged the stadium for his official declaration. The governorship aspirant says he has all it takes to govern Lagos.
I acknowledge the presence of all our party leaders, our party members, and fellow Lagosians. We have received from every corner of the state and beyond, from all sectors and various religious persuasions, confirm that this is a divine moment in the history of Lagos State. In recognition of this support, I, Akinwumi Ambode, in your presence and in the presence of God, formally put myself forward to run for the position of the governor of Lagos State.
A chieftain of the party in the state, Tunde Temiomo, and the director of publicity, Ambode campaign organization, Idowu Ajanaku, says the governorship aspirant is the right choice for the position.
Well, like we have heard, he had worked for Lagos State for 27 years. And throughout his period of working for Lagos State, he did very well. So one would expect that he can only do better when he comes in as governor. He knows Lagos inside out. He's a man with a wealth of experience who is a bridge builder between the elite and the grassroots. This is a man Lagosian needs at this time to bid on the achievement of Governor Babatunde Fashola.
The governorship aspirant vows never to lose focus of the giant strides of the APC in Lagos State if he eventually fulfilled his dream.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. Alleged plot to impeach Governor Ayodele Fayose tears Ekiti lawmakers apart. Find out details after this timeout. Remain with us.
This needs precision. Yes! Got to get her home before her curfew.
My dad!
Uh-oh, got to get her home fast. If we cut across 3 streets in 3 minutes and speed across the market in 2, should make it to the
Can we make it?
If we take the stairs at 30 seconds per flight, we just might. Yes! Made it in time. Mission accomplished.
Get everyday energy fast with Lucozade Boost.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe. And watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it, don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Nigerians are expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. CoreTV News from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
We break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news spreads. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
A 24-hour news station.
This is still CoreTV Primetime News. In case you're just joining us, here is a quick reminder of our major headlines. Former NBA President Okewale regains freedom from kidnappers after 13 days in captivity. Renowned Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmadu Gumi tells President Goodluck Jonathan to drop his re-election bid ahead 2015 presidential election. Alleged plots to impeach Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose tears Ekiti lawmakers apart. For more information in our news and other programs, visit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. And our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. Also log on to www.youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. And now the battle for supremacy between APC and PDP lawmakers in Ekiti State has taken a worrisome dimension. The PDP members at the State House of Assembly have accused their APC colleagues of plotting the impeachment of Governor Ayo Fayoshe. They also alleged that the APC lawmakers have received financial inducements from a top national leader of the party based in Lagos to carry out the plot. The APC lawmakers, however, debunked the allegations as baseless. Our correspondent Rashid now completes the report.
Since the change of leadership button at the governorship level in Ekiti State, all appears not well as things are no longer at ease. The state has continued to move from one crisis to another. This time, it is the State House of Assembly which is wrapped in crisis stemming from the change of government and the recent defection of some APC members to the PDP. Firing the first salvo, the new PDP members alleged that their former party colleagues has perfected plan to impeach Governor Fayoshe with heavy financial backing from a national leader of the party, an allegation described as laughable by the APC lawmakers.
The speaker collected 100 million naira and the other members collected 800 million naira. So to put this state to coma and coming back to say they are addressing press, it's just a defense mechanism.
We have been alleged that we went to Lagos to collect 50 million naira per honorable members and the right honorable speaker 100 million naira. There's no reason under the sun why we cannot travel to Lagos to confer with the leadership of our party, especially when we have pressing issues within the party.
The PDP caucus also raised eyebrow over the boycotts by APC leadership in the House of a planned meeting with the state governor. They are alleged that the APC lawmakers instead chose to travel to Lagos. The APC lawmakers, however, put a defense.
If I go to Lagos, or members of the House of Assembly decide to go to Lagos to be properly briefed on the events of the party by the national leader, it's equally happening in other parties too. The PDP has their own national leader, and other parties too, they have their own national leader.
If the governor, the number one citizen of the state, and the head of the parliamentary have an agreement to meet the governor on a stipulated date, and now discover that they are not even in the state, they are in Lagos, I can confirm they are in Lagos. And I knew they are being given money to truncate the system.
But the flexing of muscles by lawmakers on each side of the divide may snowball into a major showdown as they seem not ready to let down their guards.
Is suspicious. Mr. Governor is suspicious. The action of preempting whether the impeachment or order is suspicious. And that has always been the style.
We implore the governor, work directly with this assembly. Whatever may be your vision, this assembly is ready to partner with you, particularly from the APC. Once it's in the interest of our people and is on the side of the law.
Observers, particularly the citizens of the state within and in the diaspora, are however studying the development with bated breath, just as the House cut short its recess. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The United Nations says it will continue to support Nigeria in promoting peace, religious tolerance and unity. UN President Coordinator Dauda Toure made the commitment at the 69th UN Day celebration in Abuja. The commemorative event was held on the premises of the UN building that was hit by a car bomb more than 3 years ago. Our correspondent Pius tells us more.
This is the first UN Day celebration on the premises of the UN House since a suicide bomber killed scores of people and almost brought down the complex on August 26, 2011. More than 3 years after, the UN says it is important that it celebrates its 69th anniversary there to demonstrate its commitment to peace.
Today, we join the global community for commemorating the UN Day to reaffirm our global mission and reassert our normative role, the universal values of tolerance, mutual respect and human dignity, and to uphold our faith in the tenets of the United Nations Charter as it states, with the people, clearly giving voice to all people, especially the voiceless.
The mood at the gathering was a sober one. A 1-minute silence was observed for the soul of those who died during the attack.
May their souls and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace.
The UN representative is concerned over renewed insurgent activities in spite of a ceasefire deal between government and Boko Haram. But he believes that it will end the years of violence and bloodletting in the country, especially in the northeast.
Millions of people continue to suffer deplorable exploitation through bandit labor, human trafficking, sexual slavery, and unsafe conditions in factories, fields, and mines. The global economy remains an even playing field. The founding of the United Nations was a solemn pledge to the world's people to end such assault on human dignity and lead the way to a better future.
The government says it is committed to ensuring lasting peace in the country, and it is convinced that a peaceful environment will create an avenue for sustainable development.
Without peace and stability, commendable efforts of Nigeria will come to naught. We all know that conflict in every community is inevitable, but it needs to be managed through peaceful means, including good governance, principles of transparency and accountability, rule of law, equity and justice that take away desperation and give hope to all of mankind, particularly the youth and women, to bring about equity in our regions and in various ethnic nationalities.
3 years after the Boko Haram attack, reconstruction work on the UN house has not been completed. But now, the government says it will ensure that the building is ready for use soon.
Today will have been a day of celebration of 69 years of United Nations. But mere looking at our countenances shows that yes, we are not happy as a people. Because 3 years ago, our children, our staff, our colleagues, our compatriots fell to the hands of the terrorists here in this same building. And that makes today's celebration a solemn celebration.
For now, the United Nations system and the Nigerian authorities have expressed a joint commitment to peace and will work together to ensure sustainable development. But first, they are committed to ensuring that the UN house is back to what it was before a suicide bomber rammed a bomb-laden van through the gate into the building. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Now, President Goodluck Jonathan Friday joined his Beninois counterpart, Boni Yayi, to perform the groundbreaking ceremony of the semi-crate joint border patrol post. Jonathan described the occasion as an important milestone in the ECOWAS integration protocol. He said the semi-crate joint border post will ease the present hardship facing border users and officials operating along the Nigerian-Benin Republic borders. And while highlighting the security benefits of the project, the president noted that it will help enhance exchange of data and intelligence between relevant agencies of both countries. For its part, he said Benin Republic was like a state in Nigeria in view of the historical, economic, social, and cultural affiliation between both countries. He described Jonathan as a friend of his country and commended Nigeria's efforts at tackling insecurity in the sub-region. The project is partly funded by the European Union, World Bank, United States Agency for International Development, and the African Development Bank. The ECOWAS Commission has formally commended Nigeria and Senegal for their exemplary response to the Ebola outbreak, which has resulted in the World Health Organization declaring the two countries free of the disease. Although Senegal was the first to be given a clean bill of health after reporting one solitary case, the sub-regional body described Nigeria's case as remarkable. In a message of solidarity, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Kadri Ouedraogo, expressed confidence that their initiatives and experiences will serve as a model to the rest of the world in dealing with the disease. He added that Nigeria and Senegal have proved that internal solutions to the humanitarian emergency are possible within the ECOWAS region with the support and collaboration of the international community. Millions of doses of experimental Ebola vaccines will be produced by the end of 2015, according to World Health Organization. It says several hundred thousands will be produced in the first half of the year, while the vaccines could be offered to health workers on the front line in West Africa as soon as December 2014. However, WHO cautioned that vaccines would not be a magic bullet for ending the outbreak. There is no proven cure for vaccine for Ebola. In response to the largest epidemic of the disease in history, the WHO is accelerating the process of vaccine development. It normally takes years to produce and test a vaccine, but drug manufacturers are now working on a scale of weeks. 2 experimental vaccines produced by GlaxoSmithKline and the Public Health Agency of Canada are already in safety trials. The GSK vaccines is being tested in Mali, the UK and the US. Research on the Canadian vaccines is also underway in the US, with further trials expected to start in Europe and Africa soon. The results are expected in December. After that, trials will move to countries affected by Ebola, probably starting with Liberia. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and return with business, sport and other stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
This is Judiciary Today.
The judiciary's function is to interpret the law. The judge in Lagos State is perhaps one of the most comfortable judges in the world.
You can't say because we are fighting terrorists or we're fighting terror, then you go about violating people's rights. We're not going to allow that in this country.
So I think that's one of the reasons why some
that's
lawyers
what lawyers do.
I didn't say that what lawyers do.
The TV show that brings you in-depth review and analysis of judiciary issues that affect you.
All police officers to welcome victims with empathy and not say, what were you wearing? Where did you go? What were you doing at 10 p.m. at night?
As the Nigerian judiciary mourns one of their own.
He has gone to court on behalf of Nigerian citizens even without taking a cover.
It is time for lawyers to take their health very seriously, lawyers and judges.
Only on CoreTV.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it, don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Glad to have you back now. David Cameron has angrily insisted the UK will not pay £1.7 billion being demanded by the European Union. If people think I'm paying that billion December, they have another thing coming. The Prime Minister said in Brussels it is not going to happen. But Commission President Jose Manuel Barroso said the demand should not have come as a surprise to the UK. Moving away from that now, the 500 has been in the sugar sector under the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Olusegun Agagan, will disclose this at the 2014 Sugar Forum in local Kogi State. Noted that the investment cut across 11 states of the Federation. Oyo, Ondo, Ogun, Adamawa, Kogi, Taraba, Jigawa, Kwara, Niger, I beg your pardon, Kebbi and Sokoto State. He said within 2 years of the implementation of the project, sugar prices had nosedived to an all-time low, while refining sugar capacity utilization had moved up from 60% to 75%. Agangan said that the federal government had also created a 10 billion naira funding pool managed by the Bank of Industry, with a 5 billion naira matching fund by the National Sugar Development Council, among other intervention measures. While reiterating that imported packaged sugar remained banned, he said, and so far, significant progress has been made in the sugar sector as a result of government policies. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development have set up a growth enhancement support scheme and hotline for farmers. The scheme is aimed at targeting 5 million farmers each year that will receive GESS in their mobile phone. That will total 20 million at the end of the year. It also provides support directly to farmers to enable them produce agricultural inputs, procure and distribute fertilizers. GESS hotline was introduced ahead of the dry farming season in November for the public to make complaints on poor services, poor products, and report cases of fraud and corruption. The may complain to the hotline. Information should be provided. They include names, location, details, description of event, using as much relevant details as possible to aid easy solution to problems of the individual. A GS hotline's number includes 01421 08780 or 070-608-83238, which can only be accessed from the Monday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. according to the information in the 36 state offices across the country. Moving away from that now, the report says the chief executive of Diamond Bank, Alex Oti, has resigned. In an official statement through its corporate communication department, confirmed Oti's exit, describing his 3.5-year tenure as the brightest in the bank's 24-year history. Report has it that the bank chief may have intentions of contesting for the governorship of the southeastern state of Abia come 2015 elections. However, the bank's board of directors has replaced Oti with Uzoma Dozie, one of the deputy managing directors appointed in March and son of former chairman Pascal Dozie. The bank saw its profit after tax grow at 29% in 2013, soaring 6.4 billion naira from 2012 figure of 22.1 billion naira to 28.5 billion naira last year. And our business seems to look good since Nokia sold its mobile handset unit to Microsoft, leaving it with a network equipment and software operation. Nokia's share price is up to 140% since Microsoft announced in September 2013 that it would acquire the Finnish companies. The Finnish firm third quarter made profit beat analyst expectation, rising 591 million pounds from a loss of 91 million euros a year earlier. Sales have risen to 13%. The company has been pushing into the US and China markets. Said margin in the core network business during the 3 months were 13.5%, well ahead of analysts' estimate for about 9.9%. But the analysts say these type of network projects come in cycles, so the profitability improvement is not permanent. Microsoft has announced it's ditching Nokia brand name from new devices. Microsoft bought Nokia Mobile's operation in April in a deal worth 7.2 billion Nokia, rank said in the global network equipment. And now to market report now. The equity transactions on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note. The All-Share Index dipped by 0.3% to close at 39,087.10 basis points. Market capitalization decreased and closes in the same manner at 12.90 trillion naira. In all, a total of 208.6 million shares valued at 3.84 billion naira were exchanged in 4,040 deals. Report shows that Nestle topped the gainers chart, followed by Dangote Cement, Total, PZ, and Guaranty Trust Bank. On the flip side, Cadbury topped the losers chart, followed by WAPCO, GlaxoSmithKline, Guinness, and Presco. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And now in sports now, the Greece Giwa-led board of Nigerian Football Federation has taken charge as ruled by the judiciary. A member of board, Yahaya Adama, said on Friday in Abuja. Adama told newsmen at the Glass House Secretariat of the NFF the board has returned to power as demanded by the court and was ready to save the Nigerian game. Justice Ambrose Alagua of the Federal High Court in Jos had on Thursday annulled the September 30 NFF elections in Warri. He had also declared as null and void the NFF Elective Congress held on that day, thereby restoring to power the Giwa-led board, which was elected in Abuja on August 26. The decision had meant the board, led by Amaju Pinnick, should vacate office. Super Falcons of Nigeria have vowed to be the arch-rival Cameroon in the AWC final on Saturday at the Sam Nujoma Stadium in Windhoek, Namibia. Super Falcons media officer Gracious Akujobi sounded out some of the players on their preparedness to win the title for a record 7th time, and the responses she got was that of a group ready to do their country proud. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Desire Okparazozi and Azizat Oshoala are among the front-runners for the top scorers award at the 2014 African Women's Championship in Namibia. The event at the camp of France striker Okparazozi has netted 4 goals and she is the leading scorer, while Rivers Angels emerging star Oshoala has found the back of the net in Namibia 3 times. The Federation of International Football Association has released the shortlist for the 2014 FIFA Coach of the Year for Women's Shortlist, with Nigeria Women's Under-20 coach Peter Dedevo making the cut on the 10th-man list. The role was compiled by FIFA's Committee for Women's Football and a group of experts from France Football. Under the guidance of Dedevo, Nigeria went within inches of becoming the first African nation to become Women's World Champions after losing to Germany 1-0 in the final of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Canada. The name will be drawn to 3 on December 1, 2014, while the winner will be announced at the FIFA Ballon d'Or Gala on January 12, 2015. And now, Europe's biggest football club could ask World Governing Body FIFA to play the Qatar 2022 World Cup in May. Qatar won the right to stage the World Cup in 2010, but an inquiry over moving games from the hot summer months has been ongoing for more than a year. The European Club Association, which includes Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich, discussed May 2022 as a potential date. The ECA believes the tournament in spring will cause minimum disruption. Now, Rafael Nadal has pulled out of next week's Paris Masters, casting further doubt on his participation at the ATP World Tour Finals next month. The Spaniard ranked 3rd in the world, cited personal reasons in a statement from the Paris tournament. Nadal is playing a Brazil this week despite suffering with appendicitis. He had planned to decide after the tournament whether to undergo surgery or complete the season in London. Brazil is just the 3rd tournament Nadal has played since Wimbledon because of a wrist injury, and he revealed earlier this month that he was on a course of antibiotics for his appendix. Now, the bosses of Triumph F1 have formally agreed to hand over the running of the team to administrators. Control of the Oxfordshire site where the cars are made has been given to London firm Smith and Williamson. Cartin say they took the decision in the higher interest of allowing the team to continue operating and preparing for the next level. One of the administrators say he fears the team will not complete at the U.S. Grand Prix in Austin. They have now also been placed in charge of one MRT with a long-term view to finding a buyer for the troubled constructor. You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take a break. We'll be back shortly with stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Glad to have you back now. Outside Nigeria, David Cameron has angrily insisted the UK will not pay £1.7 billion being demanded by the European Union. If the people think I'm paying that bill on December 1, they have another thing coming. The Prime Minister said in Brussels it is not going to happen. But Commission President Jose Manuel Barroso said the demand should not have come as a surprise to the UK. He said it was made under a system agreed by all the member states and based on data provided by them. EU Finance Minister have agreed to the UK's request for emergency talks about the top-up payment, which would add about a fifth to the UK's annual net European contribution of 8.6 billion. Cameron said he was downright angry and said the British public will find the vast sum totally unacceptable. Now, just before we close the show, there is a wrap-up of stories that made our headlines today. Now, we told you that former NBA President Okiwale has regained his freedom from kidnappers after 13 days in captivity. We also brought you a report that renowned Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has told President Goodluck Jonathan to drop his re-election bid ahead 2015 presidential election. And finally, alleged plot to impeach Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has torn Ekiti lawmakers apart. That's been the show tonight. On behalf of our entire news crew, I am Frank Omalape, wishing you a wonderful night rest. Good night.